discussing health from a natural and integrated perspective. So I heard you always having a discussion there about cholesterol.
Yes, cholesterol. Can you get cholesterol from plant-based products or is it only from animal?
The thing is primarily you have high fat plant foods, which would be like, for example, avocado, nuts, seeds, grains, that type of thing. As it relates to vegetables itself and plants, well, then in that particular case, no, you would not be able to get cholesterol from that. Good. Yes.
Yeah, man.
So, of course, interestingly, that's a good question because the topic that I wanted to discuss today was cardiovascular disease. You know, the World Health Organization has shown that cardiovascular disease for consistently for the past about 25 years has been or is the number one cause of death throughout the world. You know, a lot of persons would hear that, persons would get heart attacks or what is known as myocardial infarctions. Persons might get issues associated with cardiovascular disease, strokes, and those type of things. So that continues to, basically put people in the ground. So the question, of course, is what do you as an individual, or what can you as an individual do to, improve your cardiovascular health? And that's what we're going to discuss this morning. So we're talking about improving blood circulation, improving cardiovascular health, and of course, how do we at Batson and Associates really assess where you are from a cardiovascular perspective, and of course, what you would be able to do to improve that particular situation. Of course, keep in mind that we are located in Shogunas. That's our head office. So for ease, I normally would just give you two of the telephone numbers, which would be Shogunas 222-8261. That's 222-8261. And of course, our WhatsApp would be 314-9975. 314-9975. The program is an interactive program. So, of course, to this, you could remind them of the studio numbers where they would be able to contact us and, of course, ask the necessary questions that they may need to ask.
Yes, so numbers here are 627-3223, 627-3223, and 625-2257. And via WhatsApp, you can send your messages to 306-1065.
Good. So when we speak in cardiovascular health, we're talking about the cardiovascular system, which would include, you're looking at your heart, various aspects of the circulatory system, so arteries, capillaries, veins, and the such. So the thing is, imbalances of the cardiovascular system would be, for example, high blood pressure, what you all were discussing a while ago as regards to cholesterol. So anyone who has extremely elevated blood cholesterol levels, of course, that is something to be concerned about. If you go and you may do a blood test and they look at something known as homocysteine, homocysteine actually in looking at that, once the levels are very high, it means that you're almost a perfect candidate for a heart attack. Apart from that, as well, in terms of your triglycerides, if you have very high triglycerides, it's going to actually cause problems with the cardiovascular system. Now, that sort of makes sense as it relates to that because your cardiovascular system is basically plumbing. So, I tell persons if the pipes in your house could become blocked up, every once in a while you might find the kitchen sink backing up, or you might have an issue with the sewer system or something like that. You could imagine what could happen in the cardiovascular system of the human body, simply because if you were to join all the blood vessels in the human body, arteries, capillaries, veins, they would actually be able to make the circumference of the earth 2.5 times, which is basically 66,000 miles. So because of how extensive that pipeline, for want of a better expression, system is, it's very important that you keep those pipelines clean, for want of a better expression, to ensure that you don't end up with blockages. Because the thing is, when you get tears in the lining of the blood vessels, so that you can actually get microscopic tears in the lining of blood vessels, and those tears now could actually become larger and larger. What the body will do, inflammatory response is going to go there and basically block off those type of tears. But the thing is, in doing that, it would actually produce some sort of lump, bump, for want of a better expression, that continues to get larger and larger. So once that starts to get larger, what you find is that it actually narrows the blood vessels themselves. And then, you may have a situation where you do either echocardiogram or you may do an angiogram where they actually would be able to determine the extent, sorry, of the blockages, especially in the arteries, which we know are the larger blood vessels, coronary artery, carotid artery, and others. Sorry. So, with that being said, it means that there is something that you would need to do in order to correct that situation. And that's what we're going to discuss today. And what, of course, we at Batson and Associates do to actually correct that situation. Now, there's a test that we do called a magnetic resonance analysis scan. Now, what that would do is use weak magnetic waves in the body. And what it does is going to give us an idea of how good your circulation is. You also have something known as pulmonary circulation, which is above the heart. Systemic circulation is below your heart. And you also have something known as peripheral circulation. So someone listening to this program might say, well, how do I know my cardiovascular system is giving me problems? How do I know I may have a problem with blocked arteries? There are a number of indicators that you could look at. One is shortness of breath, for example. If you someone and you become physical, let's say you may start to walk fast, or you might do brisk walking, running, or something like that, and you find you have problems with short breath, that could be an indication of a cardiovascular problem. As I mentioned, if you have hypertension, whether it's primary hypertension or secondary hypertension, that as well is an indication of cardiovascular problems, poor circulation, that type of thing. If you have problems with varicose veins, which is known as varicosis, and that has to do with the valves in the lower extremities not really closing off properly, and blood actually pooling in the legs. That, of course, is an indication of cardiovascular problems. If you have problems with deep vein thrombosis, for example, that is when you have clots in the veins themselves. And of course, what clots could do is that clots don't stay in one place. For example, you may have a clot in your leg, and that clot could actually move from the legs and go up and actually go and block your lungs, and of course could cause death. Clots could move from the heart and go up to the brain. So a number of different things could happen as regards to clots. The point I'm making is that all those things are indication of poor circulation, cardiovascular problems. And of course, in doing that particular test, we'll actually be able to, one, tell you how good your circulation is in terms of circulation in the lower part of the body, as well as cerebral circulation, which is circulation in the brain. So if you're experiencing any of those things, it would be wise for you to check it out and actually start to take some action as regards to that particular situation. Another thing, men, if it is you find all of a sudden you're developing issues as it relates to male function, so you may not be able to maintain erection as you used to, you're starting to develop, a little issue in that particular area, that as well can also be an indication of cardiovascular situations. So, the thing is, as I often tell persons, your body speaks to you. Our body speaks to us. The problem is sometimes we don't know how to listen, or sometimes we just don't listen at all. Okay, and that's one of the things that we do at Batson and Associates. So, of course, you can feel free to give us a call or visit, again, that telephone number for the head office in Shogunas, which would guide you to any one of the other offices. That telephone number would be 222-8261. That's 222-8261, as well as 314-9975. Again, that's 314-9975. Any questions as yet, sir?
Yes, one who gets like a cold feet, like in the morning, your feet cold. Is that a sign of circulation problems? Cold feet and probably hands.
Yeah, definitely. That could also be an indication of poor circulation. One of the things that poor circulation actually does is create something known as neuropathy. And neuropathy is nerve damage. So you find someone who may have poor circulation and neuropathy would experience that symptomology that you just spoke about. Very cold hands, very cold feet. In some instances, you have pins and needles, cramping in the calves, burning on their feet. If you get cramps in your calves a lot, especially at night while you're sleeping, early in the morning, that is also key indicator of cardiovascular problems. If you're having problems with swelling, there's something known as edema, which is spelled EDMA, which is an indication of swelling in the legs. The thing is, most of the time, edema is caused by poor circulation. There are some instances where an individual may have a kidney problem, and as a result of having a kidney problem, you can have edema. But in most cases, let's say maybe about 85% of the cases, it would be a poor circulation situation. So as I said, pins and needles, cramping in your cars, burning under your feet. If you're feeling like things walking on you, that could also be an indication of poor circulation, or neuropathy. The thing is, you can have neuropathy or nerve damage and not be a diabetic. But most diabetics, because their circulation is significantly compromised because of being a diabetic, especially for extended periods of time. And if you are diabetic who don't really pay attention and really take care of yourself as you should, you find that the complications associated with diabetes are going to get very bad very quickly. And that's something that you need to, again, pay close attention to. Another indicator as well, too, from the aspect of pulmonary circulation, as I said, which is circulation above the heart, is if you're getting issues with like blurred vision, dizziness, lightheadedness, problems with your memory. Persons who suffer from what is known as vascular dementia, which is basically dementia. So they have problems with memory, cognitive function, place and time, recognizing faces, that type of thing. That is an early indication of what we would call Alzheimer's. So one of the things I always try to explain to individuals is that if you're not getting proper blood flow in any part of the body, we have to understand that blood transports oxygen and nutrients to cells. And cells, of course, are the basic building block for any of the organs that we were discussing here, whether it's heart, brain, that type of thing. So if you're not getting proper blood flow to different parts of your brain, those are some of the symptomology that you'd experience. Blurred vision, problems with your memory, issues associated with dizziness, also the complexion. Persons who have very bad hypertension and bad circulation in the brain, they would usually have very dark marks on the side of the eyes, the temple, your forehead. That's a clear indication of poor circulation. You usually find it in diabetics. When you look at their legs, for example, their instep by their ankles, even some aspects coming up to their shin tends to be very dark. Some people look like as if they were in almost a black socks. That, of course, is a serious indication of poor circulation, and it means that you need to address that as soon as possible because it can cause serious issues, myocardial infarction, ischemic strokes, hemorrhagic strokes, as I mentioned, deep vein thrombosis, clots, that type of thing. So again, that's your body speaking to you. The question is, are you listening? Okay. Any question?
About the foods you were talking about. Avocado, is avocado a good cholesterol? And what are some foods with good cholesterol and bad cholesterol?
When we're talking about cholesterol, well, in the case of avocado, as I mentioned before, and nuts and that type of things, those basically are healthy fats. Your oils like olive oil, coconut oil, again, healthy fats. One of the things that we have realized in medicine, especially with research within the past 5 years, is that the human diet is devoid of healthy grains. So things like flax seeds, chia seeds, pumpkin seeds, your nuts, and those type of things. The thing is, what the body does with healthy oils, it actually uses it as lubrication. Good. So think about your vehicle that you drive. There's a reason why you have different type of oils that you would use and that type of thing to ensure that the aspect of the engine is properly lubricated and that type of thing. The same thing applies to the human body. So in order for you to have healthy brain function, in order for you to have healthy cognitive function, healthy sight, healthy memory, in order for you to have healthy erection as a male, females to have even healthy ovaries, uterus, they must have sufficient healthy oils for lubrication in the body. And that's why we find within recent times, and as I said at the genesis of the conversation, that's why cardiovascular disease continues to be the leading cause of death. I mean, diabetes is trying its best to pass. Diabetes right now is the third leading cause of death, I believe. World Health Organization estimates that maybe in about the next 10 years, diabetes is going to be the number one cause of death. And of course, Trinidad and Tobago, our numbers, we're not really in good nowhere where those things are concerned. Diabetes, we within maybe the top 5 in the world per capita. As it relates to adolescent diabetes, we are again very high. As it relates to adolescent obesity, we're very high. I think we're like number 3. We definitely in the top 10 in the world right now. So, again, that shows that we need to really, take stock of ourselves and try our best and do something. Because the thing is, the longest journey starts with the first step. We know that. So it's just a matter of understanding that you have an issue and you want to be healthy, because all of us want to look good, feel good. I mean, I always tell persons, this might sound like, and I'm not trying to be facetious here, but the thing is, I tell persons, if you were to pick between a heart attack and a stroke, pick a heart attack. You don't want a stroke. It's especially if you get a hemorrhagic stroke, which is a bleeding stroke. It's very difficult, the recuperation, and you would have to get things like physiotherapists. The post therapy and the post treatment for that is very, very expensive. We're talking about that's going to run into hundreds of thousands of dollars. So that's why I always tell persons, if you think health is expensive, try sickness, because a lot of the times it's just a matter of introducing slight changes gradually into the diet. So, drinking more water. I'm a huge advocate of proper hydration, because one of the laws of the human body is hydration. Oxygen is first. Oxygen is the most fundamental aspect of the body. Your body, how long you go without breathing? Not long, right? After oxygen is water. And, as I often tell persons, the rule for drinking water is your body weight divided by 2 in ounces. So the thing is, that's the first thing you should try and do. Start to at least drink sufficient amounts of water. Okay, good. You mightn't like our water this taste. Okay, fine. But it's water. So it's just a matter of getting into the practice. And he says, once you start to do it, you're going to start to get more improvements. To persons who smoke, I am a very practical person. I tell persons smoking is one of the most difficult things to stop because of how addictive it is. But at least do something to negate the negative effects of the smoking. So you can't smoke and then eat bad, do exercise, you're running long life, and then you expect when things happen to you, you're in a quandary as to why it happened. I mean, you're reaping what you sow. So it's a matter of, making those slight changes. At Batson Associates, we carry a number of products and services to deal with circulation. We carry a circulation tea that is very popular. We also carry a particular omega that has something in it known as astaxanthin. And if you know what astaxanthin is, it is actually an antioxidant. It also falls in the category of a free radical scavenger. So it helps to improve cardiovascular function. So there are a number of things that you can do gradually to get you in that particular situation. At Batson Associates, we do something known as the live nutritional blood cell analysis. I'm a huge advocate of that, even though I could understand different blood tests, CT scans, MRIs, whatever the case may be. But the advantage with that live nutritional blood cell analysis is that it actually physically gives you a picture of what your blood looks like. We actually see your blood live in motion. And that is advantageous in the sense that, for example, I'll give you an example to the base. You have red blood cells, and your red blood cells basically have 2 sides, right? So let's say in this case, you have a top side and a side below, right? Now, the thing is, if you take 2 blood cells, they're supposed to have basically 4 sides. The top, the bottom of one side, and then the top and the bottom of the left. So the reason why your blood cells are like that, and your blood cells are not flat, they are actually concave, and that is because of surface area to volume ratio. So in other words, your blood cells designed in such a way to optimize oxygen absorption and, of course, oxygen distribution throughout the body. The thing is, when your blood cells actually stick together, instead of having 4 surfaces, if they stick together, you now lose 2 surfaces and you have 2 alone. So you lost 2. Now think about this. If you have 100 blood cells, you're supposed to have what? 200 surfaces. But if all those blood cells are stuck together, you now only end up with 2 surfaces and you have lost 198. So that's the best analogy I could use to sort of explain or give someone a visual about that. But it means now that your body is now oxygen deprived. And as a result of that, your circulation is going to be even more compromised. And that is why we do the blood analysis, because it actually gives us a visual of what the cardiovascular system looks like. It gives us a visual of what your gastrointestinal system looks like. Because there are a lot of people walking around there who have poor digestion. A wise man once said, to eat is human, to digest is divine. So a lot of persons you eat, you might be taking your little vitamins, you might be taking a little zinc, a little selenium, whatever the case may be. But the point is, it is not absorbing in the body, malabsorption. There's a condition known as leaky gut syndrome, which most people have and they don't know. And that syndrome is.
Sometimes I hear the noises, like some people. Like,
yeah, it has some people when they. I mean, if you're hungry, that's one thing.
After you eat, you still hear that noise.
Yeah. Well, definitely, that is an indication of some sort of poor digestion. A lot of people have poor digestion for a number of reasons. They eat too quickly, they eat and drink simultaneously, you eat and you drink a lot of cold water. A number of things really could contribute to messing up one's digestive system. But as I said, if you're hearing all that noise and you have a lot of flatulence, gas, bloating, constipation, all those type of things, that is key indicators of poor absorption, or what we call malabsorption. So the thing is, you're eating, but your body is not utilizing the food, because in order for you to be healthy, your body has to absorb calcium, magnesium, your different vitamins, that type of thing. And if that's not happening, then we need to fix that particular situation. And as I said, that is one of the things that we actually do at Batson and Associates. So again, you can feel free to give us a call or visit. That telephone number for the Shogunas office is 222-8261. That's 222-8261. Debe is the corner of Ransomwood Trace and the SS Erin Main Road in Debe. That telephone number is 223-7515. That's 223-7515. You can also follow us on social media. We are Batson and Associates Limited on Facebook. On Instagram, we are Batson and Associates TT. On YouTube, we are Batson and Associates Trinidad. And on TikTok, it's Dr. Batson. So you can feel free to add us there. We have a lot of content. You could ask questions and of course, more engagement there. Over to you, sir.
People with bad acne. Somebody with bad acne.
Bad acne? Yeah, we're dealing with that too, man. The thing is, let me answer that question quickly. Your skin is a reflection of your internal aspect. You have 7 channels of elimination. So in other words, there are 7 ways in which waste leaves the human body. Kidney, colon, bloodstream, liver, lymphatic system, skin, and your lungs. Your skin is referred to as your integumentary system. It's just a big word there. But your skin comprises of your skin and its appendages, so fingernails, hair, that type of thing. The problem is when you have liver problems, when you have gastrointestinal problems, when you have kidney problems, it mightn't be to the point where you might be a stage 5 kidney patient, but you're showing early signs of kidney problems. It is manifested in your skin. So a lot of times people who have problems with acne, LOTA, psoriasis, atopic dermatitis, lichen planus, those are inflammatory skin conditions. All of those have nothing to do with your skin. Absolutely nothing to do with your skin. It is an indication that your other organs of elimination are not working as they should. Simple common sense. If 7 people have to come to work, you have operations, you have marketing, you have accounts, you have the others, IT, whatever the case may be. But only 2 people show up to work. But the business have to run, right? The organization have to run. Those other persons would have to play catch up. They would have to maybe fill in different areas, which is basically almost difficult to do. But the point I'm making, that is the same thing that happens with the human body. So those organs of elimination, kidney, colon, bloodstream, liver, lymphatic system, skin, and your lungs. For a perfect example of your lymphatic system is a system that cleans your cardiovascular system. A lot of people do not know that. And your lymphatic system only recognizes one thing. And that one thing is water, agua, as they say. So if you're not drinking sufficient amounts of water, you are killing yourself. Plain talk, bad manners.
Somebody mentioned about LOTA.
Yeah, same thing. If you have LOTA, how much sulfur soap you use? I ain't going to do anything for you. What you're doing, you're attempting to treat an internal problem topically. That doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense at all. If dandruff has nothing to do with your scalp. Dandruff is an internal manifestation of pathogens in the gastrointestinal system. People who have fungus in their fingernails, fungus in your toes. There are some people who you see your fingernails look very dark, black in some instances. It has ridges on it. Those are all indications of gastrointestinal problems. Always keep in mind, from the laws of anatomy and physiology, your gastrointestinal system is the most important system in your body. Your brain, you know what they call your gastrointestinal system? Your gastrointestinal system is referred to as your second brain, your gut. And that, yes, sir. Good day. Mhm. Yes, sir. All right, listen off, yes, sir. All right, so to base your help out here, you are saying that he used something in his ear, and yeah.
It's affecting his skin.
Well, you have to understand that, and look who he asks about dice, boy, of all people, Dr.Batson, boy. Well, that's why almost my whole beard whiten on is going to stay just like that. The thing is, you have better dyes now, which may be kind of organic dyes, but dyeing is not really a good thing to do, simply because, okay, let me explain something quickly. The palm of your hands, the sole of your feet, the mole of your head or your scalp is very, very absorbent. So in other words, whatever you put in your hair or your head or your scalp eventually gets in where? To your body, right? Now remember, that's connected to, that's your brain there. So the thing is, these people who do dyeing, especially a lot of women, we know dye a lot, and they do those type of things. What you find with that is whatever is in that dye is going to get into your pores and it's going to go in your head. It's going to affect your skin. So that's why a lot of people would have irritation and that type of thing. But there are a lot of times, because I do work in ophthalmology sometimes, in terms of I have a lot of clients with eye problems, whatever the case may be, because of dealing with so many diabetics. And one of the things you find is sometimes we have to stop people from dyeing their hair because the dye actually starts to damage their eyes. There are people who actually dye their hair and end up blind temporarily, in some cases permanently. So boss man, you might have to check yourself with that. I don't know if the lady had to like the gray. I mean, gray is a sign of wisdom. Embrace it.
Yeah, man. Embrace the gray, man. Embrace the gray. I said, don't tell me to die.
Yeah. No. So again, we have a next question.
No, not.
Okay, good. So let me just quickly acknowledge some persons on our social media. We have a question here actually. We have Miss Emmons is asking the question. If you're seeing discoloration in your feet, okay, yes, is that a sign of poor circulation? Yes, it is. It definitely is a sign of poor circulation. The problem with most people with that situation, especially if you're a diabetic, you have to be mindful. One of the complications associated with diabetes is poor circulation. The reason why so many persons with diabetes end up amputees is because of just what we're discussing here, poor circulation. So because those veins, that circulation, peripheral circulation in the legs are not as it's supposed to, eventually you can end up losing a toe or your entire leg. So the point is, but that doesn't happen overnight. That is always cumulative. That is progressive. That is over a period of time. So again, it's a matter of checking. With that magnetic resonance analysis scan, we actually able, as I said, to tell you how good your circulation is. Let's say the range is normally supposed to be 143 to 210. We have dealt with persons who came to us and their number was 14. There was somebody we dealt with, they were 15. And imagine the lowest is supposed to be 143. So that's just to tell you how bad it is. And those persons were persons who were experiencing blurred vision, problems with dizziness, lightheadedness, early signs of loss of memory, and that type of thing. So, again, those are things to pay close attention to. So again, those telephone numbers that you can give us a call on, and locations for the Tobago office. That office is in the Triangle Building in Scarborough, Tobago. That number is 226-4553. That's 226-4553. We also have a live that we usually do on our Facebook. That is Batson and Associates Limited on Facebook. On Instagram, it's Batson and Associates TT. And on YouTube, it's Batson and Associates Trinidad. So you could join us. That live is actually every Sunday evening, and that's usually Sunday evening from 8 to 9:30. So that's something you could always take advantage of again. You could always remind them again.
I know you always talk about reversing problems, but if somebody is like kidney problems and or kidney failure and has to use dialysis, is there anything that could be done for them, or all hope is lost?
No, all hope is not lost. We actually have a number of dialysis patients in our care. What we would do, the only thing is when you're dealing with a dialysis patient, someone who's already on dialysis, what we have to do, we can improve the quality of life, because dialysis patients usually have some serious complications. You reach a point when you're doing dialysis that you no longer urinate. In fact, most of the time when you go for your dialysis sessions, the nephrologist is going to ask you if you're urinating, and sometimes 3 months on dialysis and that's it. You no longer urinate. I mean, you can just imagine as a human being that you are no longer able to urinate. I mean, that's craziness. So what we can do is improve the quality of life. We could help to improve your circulation. We could help to maintain healthy blood pressure levels. We could help with your sleep. We could help with a number of things. It is a bit challenging because when you are on dialysis, your water intake is limited. And that's what makes it so detrimental. But at the end of the day, it's a means of keeping you alive. I mean, your quality of life is not the best, but at the same time, at least you're here with your family, and you're enjoying some level of life existence. So in that particular case, we can actually improve the general living standards of that particular individual. We help with your energy levels, we help with the blood pressure levels, we help if you are diabetic, we can also help with that. We help with the bowel movement and that type of thing. So we would bring some improvement to that particular patient in that regard.
What about depression? I think for the
Yeah, man. Depression is we actually did last month. We had an entire clinic that was dedicated to mental health, and depression was one of the things that we were dealing with. Depression, anxiety, insomnia. The thing is, depression has a lot to do with with brain chemical imbalances. Let me see how quick I can explain. The thing is, there is something known as neurotransmitters, brain transmitters, messengers, right? So the thing is, you have epinephrine, norepinephrine, you have serotonin, you have melatonin, and you have a few others. Persons who have brain chemical imbalances would start to experience depression. I'll give you a quick example. Women who give birth to children and end up in depression, that depression is known as postpartum depression. What that basically means is that because that woman would have gone through pregnancy for that period of time, she would have lost a lot of nutrients, a lot of minerals. When women carry children, they lose calcium, magnesium, they lose a number of things, which is why when women are pregnant, they're supposed to use some sort of supplement. They would normally recommend you use folic acid and a number of things. I personally find what they usually recommend generally is a lot less, because my clients, I would recommend a number of things for them, D3 and a number of other things to ensure proper development, and of course to ensure that they themselves maintain their health, because remember, you're basically feeding another human being that is growing inside of you, so it's going to take all your nourishment, all your nutrients. So that's a perfect example of how nutrient deficiency can contribute to mental illness. So a lot of persons sometimes who are diagnosed with things like bipolar, who are diagnosed with things like schizophrenia and those type of things, quite frankly, initially that was not really their issue. The issue was that because they lacked these different neurotransmitters, the brain basically started to go into almost a default setting, for want of a better expression. And as a result of that, they started to experience these various symptomology: depression, anxiety, insomnia, what is known as OCD or obsessive compulsive disorder, and different type of mental illness. But all mental illnesses would have started with some sort of neurological disorder or deficiency in those neurotransmitters, brain chemicals. And again, that has a lot to do with proper absorption, cleansing and detoxifying the body. For the life of me, I don't know how there are people who say or believe that you should not take a detox. That's craziness on all levels, simply because you have to understand that yes, the body has the ability to do some aspect of cleansing on its own, but there are a number of things that people do as regards to their lifestyle that makes that even more terrible for the body. And then you have to understand that even normal metabolism in terms of normal functions, the function as it relates to the liver, your liver converts protein to amino acid to protein. When you look at there's something known as glycation in the body, which is a process with glucose and a number of different things. So in other words, the body itself produces waste material. And all these waste material, if it is you are not someone drinking sufficient water, if you're not someone who is active physically, if you're not someone who have a proper diet, if you're someone who you may have a lot of stress, you find that you're going to have excess buildup of toxins in the body. Some people have problems with pathogens. Quick example, women who may have problems with yeast infection or people who get urinary tract infections often. That is a key indicator of toxins in the body and a key indicator that you need some sort of detox. There's a detox we carry at Batson Associates known as Santulan, which is, it actually means balance in Hindi. That product is actually an Ayurvedic product. But one of the foundations of that product is that it is designed to clean and detoxify kidney, colon, bloodstream, liver, lymphatic system, skin, and your lungs. The good thing about that product is that you can actually use it and go to work. So the thing is, because a lot of persons they say, oh, well, I will take a little clean out, but I'll wait until I get a vacation. But if you get a vacation in 5 years, what go on with you? So, it's done in such a way to help you to do some aspect of maintenance. My whole objective and what I try to help people to understand is that we do maintenance on everything. You have to do maintenance on your house. If you have air conditioned units, you have to do maintenance on your air conditioned unit. Your vehicle, how much maintenance you do on your car? You change your oil. So what maintenance you're doing on you? That's the question.
Very important.
Very important.
A question here, we're going to discuss pricing, but what is the price of the circulation tea and where's the closest location the person lives in Arima?
Okay, good. So prices I do not call. What you could do is you can call the office. The closest to Arima, we don't have anything in the east as yet. So persons from Arima would usually choose either St. James or Chagonas, right? But the telephone numbers I mentioned there are 222-8261, 222-8261, as well as 314-9975. That's Chagonas. And St. James is 220-8113. That's 220-8113. And we also have road delivery. So the thing is, it could actually be, yeah. Yes, it can be delivered to you. That's not a problem.
Somebody here would like to ask if you treat autoimmune diseases or disorders.
Definitely. Lupus, rheumatoid arthritis, fibromyalgia, diabetes. A lot of people do not know diabetes is a autoimmune condition. Yeah, we do treat those. One of the things you need to be mindful of is that all autoimmune conditions have a serious link associated with gastrointestinal, liver, lymphatic system. So that's something that you need to pay attention to. And yes, we do treat it. What we would recommend in any cases, we do have open clinic days. You can call, you can have a consultation. You can also call, have the blood analysis, live blood, dry blood, magnetic resonance analysis done. As well, what we always recommend is that if you have tests that you would have done before, whether it's CT scans, MRIs, various blood tests, so CBC, kidney profile, liver profile, whatever the case may be, walk with all of those, regardless of how old they are, walk with them. And of course, we'll be able to give you a very good aspect in terms of determining where you are, and most importantly, where you need to be and what has to be done to bring about that particular positive change that you're looking for. Because the thing is, you can't be sick for years. That don't make any sense. As I tell people, I'm not in the politics of medicine. I don't have time for that. I believe that at the end of the day, if you want to get better, there are things that you need to do to get better. And if you're not getting better, as Albert Einstein said, the only people who do the same thing over and over, doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result, he said that is the height of insanity. That's mad people behavior. So you need to make the change. What is the change that you need to make? What is it you're doing wrong, or what it is you're not doing to give you the results that you need? That's the question you need to ask yourself.
So we have just about 2 more minutes, so you can give
Okay, good. Definitely, thank you. So again, that number for Shoguna's office is 222-8261. That's 222-8261. The office for Debe is the corner of Ramsamouch Trace and the SS Erin Main Road in Debe. That telephone number is 223-7515. That's 223-7515. St. James is Red Edge Mall, Western Main Road, St. James. That telephone number is 220-8113. 220-8113. And of course, Tobago, Sister Isle, can't forget them. That telephone number is 226-4553. That's 226-4553. And that office is in the Triangle Building in Scarborough, Tobago. Of course, you can always follow us on our social media. We are Batson and Associates Limited on Facebook. On Instagram, we are Batson and Associates TT. And on YouTube, we are Batson and Associates Trinidad. TikTok is Dr. Batson. As we always say at Batson and Associates, if you think health is expensive, try sickness. If you think education is expensive, try ignorance. One of the things too as well, quickly, keep in mind, if you do follow us on social media, those lives we usually have on a Sunday evening, and that's from 8 to 9:30, and that of course is question and answer. So you can come join us. Any questions you have, because I know sometimes a lot of persons don't like to call the radio because it might be personal, whatever the case may be. So in that forum, you're actually able to ask more questions. And of course, usually I would have other consultants with me, which in some cases would be females. So of course, the woman would be a little more comfortable if you want to ask questions about things like polycystic ovaries, fibroids, ovarian cysts, whatever the case may be. Okay, so I believe that's it for our time there, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so to the listeners of 106.5 FM, do enjoy the rest of your Thursday afternoon. Be safe. God bless. And until next week, we meet again. Take care.
Thank you very much, sir. You've been listening to Batson and Associates right here on Freedom 106.5 FM.
Yes, social media. So, we comment and end there. All of you, Miss Pamela Moses, Miss Yearwood, Cindy, Fabian Waterman, Honeybay, everyone, a pleasant good afternoon to you. We're now moving across because we have DJ Mamu Radio TT. So we're going to djmamuradio.tt.com, and that program starts at 2:15. We go from 2:15 to 3:15, and we will be discussing a number of issues. What I'll do in that, I'll be able to answer some of your questions, because I saw Pamela ask some questions and some other things there. So take care, and we see you at 2:15. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.